Then, is there any lessons to be learned from, I don't know if it affected many of the security tools, but the Amazon outage last week?
Yeah, so, well, thankfully we weren't particularly affected, although I'll tell you, like, everybody learned. So I don't know if you remember, but a number of years ago, AWS East went down, and everybody got hit. It turned out absolutely everybody, because I mean, it was kind of your default region. And so like everybody had stuff. In fact, a lot of people's status pages were still, had dependencies on AWS East. So when the whole thing went down, it was bad news for everybody. I think people learned, and so it was a little bit less impactful, although still a big thing. One of the things that, and this is again, I mean, it's still motherhood and apple pie, is, if you have not exercised your disaster recovery protocol, you should, right? If you have failover in your application, if you have failover in your sites, things like this, you should practice that, right? One of the things, I was actually talking to somebody about this recently. So we had a kind of a funny incident at a company I was working at a number of years ago, where the internet went down in the region that we were in, right? And we were running a 24/7 operation. They were doing the shift handoff and the follow the sun shift handoff to the facility I was in, right as the internet went down. And so people started, they were like, somebody should contact IT, but we realized no one had IT's phone number, because you could always look it up on the internet. Well, without the internet, like, we couldn't do that. And so there we were, just so it was just, it went to like going around to people going, hey, do you have a texting relationship with someone in IT that we can use to contact this thing, right? And so the disaster recovery protocol there ended up having to be, you have to have a couple phone numbers printed out and put on the wall, because that's the best way to do that sort of thing. It's those kind of exercises that you want to run through to really knock the dust off of, does this thing really work? Because when AWS East went down the first time, and people realized their status pages were dependent on it, they realized this cascading chain of failures that like hinge on some stuff. So that's sort of like a lot of very high level to say, I think like disaster recovery protocols are a thing that like people should be into and testing, so.